Sweet.
Mario Galaxy had a trailer come out. This movie's going to come out in April. I mean, it's going to make probably like $1.5 billion, if not $2 billion. I'm guessing from that.
Easily, yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think about the trailer overall? Are you hyped for the movie?
Yeah, I am actually. I really liked the first one. Um, there was a lot of complaints I saw like in the film community, like, where's the story? Where's the
Oh
story? It's like it's a
God.
Super Mario Brothers movie, you guys. This isn't
Yeah.
like it's not supposed to be Citizen Kane or some crazy like I mean, I don't know. For me personally, I thought it was enough story for me. I loved it. I'm excited for this one. I think the animation on this one, and I could be tripping, but I think on this one, the animation, like they really stepped up.
It
Like
looks
that,
really good. It does look
yeah,
very, very good.
yeah,
I'm
like
very
that
curious
first
what the
scene.
budget on this is.
It's got to be high. It's got to
Well,
be high.
the
But
last one was only 90. So if they're able to keep it under 100, that's probably a pretty good win.
it is, yeah. That first scene with Bowser painting, like the paint, like I'm into like animation and stuff. I notice these weird things, like the paint, the animation looks super good.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks legit, you know. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna do very well. I think that it's smart for them to go the Galaxy route. Yeah, I'm all in, dude. I'm excited. I think it looks fun.
Well, and I think the
Yeah.
big thing is Rosalina showing up. And then they didn't
Yes.
show him in here, but Yoshi's going to be in this movie too,
Mhm.
which is, and this brings me back. Well, first up, before we go there, Webber, what do you think about the movie? You think it's going to do good? Are you excited for it?
Oh, dude, yeah. So one, I am excited for it. I do think it's going to do really well. I love the first movie. And two, like, yeah, what OG was saying about people complaining about the story is a Super Mario Bros. Like story. You're defeating Bowser and getting the princess. Like, I
Right.
mean, it's something super complex, and I don't need it to be complex. You know, that's how you actually ruin this thing.
Right.
And no, and Illumination. Oh, dude, the visuals are just like peak, dude. They're so good. I love it. And also it works really well too for the whole galaxy thing because all the colors and the planets, right? The different locations. I think it works really well. And I'm excited to see Yoshi. I liked what I saw here. Having Rosalina in here is going to be awesome, dude. And yeah, I mean, also I saw a reference to Super Mario Odyssey. We have Shadow Mario. It looks like it with Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
So
I love like a little bit there. Yeah.
yeah, so so a lot of cool stuff they're taking from these other games and kind of putting them into this movie, which is cool because I like to see when companies they take elements from different like stories or stories or games and they kind of create a new story out of something that was already kind of there. So I like
Right.
that. I like that's very interesting. So I'm very curious to see what direction they go because I know I played both Galaxy One and Two, right? And Nintendo they're coming out with like a dual game like Galaxy One and Two for the Switch Two, right? And yeah, those games were fun. They were great. I hope we get to see some like kind of power ups from those games in this movie. And I'm sure we will. I'm sure this movie will have a lot of references and Easter eggs that we saw like in the first movie, right? Yeah,
Oh,
man,
I'm
this
sure.
looks
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I'm
Well,
excited, man.
it's gonna completely dominate in April because that's not typically like a big movie month.
Yeah. No, this
This
one will
thing,
do very well. Yeah.
yeah,
No, and I agree. Like, Mario doesn't have much of a story. They'll probably have to have more of a story to this movie just because you have to build upon it. So there probably will be more of a storyline in here.
and hey, look, the first movie it cracked 1 billion, so I think this one will do just as well, like almost certainly.
I wouldn't be shocked this beats out the first one.
Yeah, I think it will.
I could see that be. I mean, especially if it's a really good movie. I suppose the worries there are is Mario going to get sidelined, but I have a feeling he won't. I would assume they're and like Luigi kind of got sidelined in the first one as well. Like I kind of want more Mario and Luigi together potentially, but no, I think it looks good. And like the only thing about it, that one line Mario said where it looks like trash, that's not really. I don't feel like that's something Mario would say, but you're gonna
Yeah,
have something like that get into modern movies, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
yeah,
that felt a little bit like a little too modern for the character. Like I don't see, I wouldn't see him saying that either. That was one thing I would agree with you. That kind of stuck out for me.
And some
Right.
people were not happy to see Brie Larson is voicing Rosalina, but I think Brie Larson has learned her. I mean, if you listen to I know she said a lot of stuff during the Captain Marvel run up, but she really hasn't said too much in the recent years.
No,
I think from what I've heard too is like she's a Nintendo fan,
Yeah.
so I don't have any problem with Brie Larson as long as she's not on the press tour saying don't tell men to come watch the movie or something. But other than
right.
that, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, yeah, and Jared, here's the other thing too. And OG, me and you, we talked about this before, right? It's like that. Okay, she says some stuff that were not cool, nobody liked. But does that mean that her whole career has to end and never come back for anything ever again?
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, come on, that's silly. Like,
She
you know,
she she did a movie a few years ago. I think it was called Room. I think that was called Room. I could be mistaken, but that was actually really, really good. She was great in it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I mean, she was in the Fast and Furious movies. So I mean, pinnacle of movie making right there.
oh yeah,
There
dude.
you go.
Exceptional.
Right.
Exceptional.
Family.
But the thing that's interesting I find about it is the theme park side of it, which Universal has. There's been rumblings before, but there was rumors that they were going to do their own like princess verse off of the Nintendo princesses. So if you're able to get
Mm,
Peach, Rosalina, and Daisy,
yeah.
I mean, as big as Nintendo is, and I know Disney has historically owned that with princesses and little girls, that would be something if they're able to establish that in their parks and that
Dude.
becomes a big thing of meet and greets and things like that. I think
Mhm.
that is, I mean, I've said for a long time, I think Nintendo potentially is going to be bigger for Universal than Wizarding Worlds were with how big Nintendo is. And not to mention, I think even without Epic Universe, just having Nintendo in the Universal parks is a problem for Disney because there's no answer for it. There's no other
Right.
video game. They're going to try and work in Fortnite, but there's nothing that's going to come close to like the nostalgia and the multiple generations that Nintendo has. And so if they're able to parlay this, I mean, Rosalina, Yoshi meet and greets into the parks, I'm sure they're going to promote
Mhm.
this heavily in Epic Universe, especially in out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think that potentially could be a really, really big thing for just the theme park side alone. And I know this because my daughter is younger. Like little girls, like they love the Nintendo princesses. If Universal is able to have their own version of princess stuff that's tied to Nintendo, I think that would be a pretty big deal. I'm not
Well,
saying it would like overtake all the nostalgia and stuff that Disney has, but
no.
that is an area where a lot of the younger, especially girls, are really into like Rosalina. Like my daughter loves Rosalina. Like she was super hyped that she was going to be in this movie. So I think there's going to be a ton of girls, not 7, 8, 9 year old girls that would love to go to Epic Universe and go see Rosalina.
Well, and here's the
Or
thing too, and to your point, Jared, where it's like, yeah, it's not necessarily there to replace because it's gonna be very difficult. The princesses are a bajillion-dollar franchise for Disney, right? But it's a way for Universal to tap into that market a little bit at least, right? Where okay, like you were saying, Jared, little girls like Rosalina and is Daisy a princess technically? I think so,
I
right?
think Daisy is.
Yeah, Daisy and Peach and all that. And also you have to remember too, Universal's also getting into the Wicked stuff, which has princesses or whatever. They look like
Right.
princesses, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're never gonna replace like the Little Mermaid and Belle. I mean, those are always gonna be like the OG princesses that all the girls love.
yeah.
But this is Universal's way to sort of tap into that market share and at least get a slice of the pie, I think, right?
Well, and I think that's where Nintendo has appeal. Like it's very unique, and this is why I think it's something that you can't really match in terms of getting video game franchise because it appeals to like it can appeal to little girls, it can appeal to men, boys, like it appeals to a whole swath of people that is multi generational. And so like you can have Super Nintendo World where you go in there and a 9 year old girl's happy and the dad's happy and the brother's happy. Like it's very rare that you find things. Typically when you're talking about Disney princess stuff, it's like you do it. I mean, I've been there. You do it for your daughter to go meet the princesses, but like
Right.
the young boy, her brother's not going to like it. The dad's going to be like, okay, let's just go do this. Versus like everybody that's there is into it because it all has something different to offer.
I would say, and if any little girls don't want the princess stuff, if Nintendo brings into the theme parks, you could have Samus, right? I
Yeah,
mean, Samus is a female. She's badass, just shooting up stuff right in space. And
yeah.
there you go. Yeah, no, exactly. And actually, speaking of the park, Jared, so because we're talking about the parks from like Mario, right? So this is a galaxy, right? Now, will because I've been a super advocate about Universal, for Nintendo getting a Star Fox attraction. I love Star Fox, right? Because
Mhm.
because that would give you like the kind of space theme, but also so with Samus. So if you have Super Mario Galaxy, would you want to have instead of a IP land, you create like a galactic land which has multiple IPs in it? So like Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid, Star Fox. Like, would you want to see that, or
I
or
mean,
even F-Zero to some extent?
personally, yeah. I just do, I think when you look at the Metroid games, though, they probably just haven't sold as well. Like I know their worry with Zelda was the cross appeal to people that weren't necessarily into it. I would love to see it. I just don't think it'll probably happen, just due to like those games didn't sell super well. And so I don't know what the pull would be. But I think that'd be awesome. Like an F-Zero like type of like racing ride or something like that would be awesome. Like I'd be completely down for that.
And also going back to like the studio side, right? Nintendo is now getting into the studio stuff, right? I want
Yep.
theme parks and studio stuff. And already the first Mario movie was a hit. We already have like shots of like the live action Legend of Zelda from New Zealand. Now we have
Mhm.
this movie coming out. If all these movies are top tier quality movies, this is great for the studio. It's great for Nintendo. And it's going to just be this awesome synergy between the theme parks and the studio, dude. It's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
No, it is.
You know?
It's that IP flywheel that Disney has been so successful over the decades in doing. Nintendo is now dipping into their version of that IP flywheel. I think it's brilliant.
Now, with the Legend of Zelda live action movie coming out, right? And if we get a Hyrule like land, right, area for Legend of Zelda,
Mhm.
are they going to make the aesthetics of it more video gamey like Super Nintendo World is right now, or are they going to make it look more like Game of Thrones or like The Lord of the Rings, more realistic? Do you think?
I really hope they go more Lord of the Rings. Like I think for Mario, I think for Donkey Kong, I think for a lot of these Nintendo franchises, that look is perfect. But you can't apply the same aesthetic to all of it. Zelda is not that thing. I think you need a big, crazy, epic scale and more realism. I don't know. That's just me, but what do you think, Jared? I mean, do you think they can go cartoony with it? I don't know. It feels weird to me.
I think they'll go cartoony because of what Super Nintendo World is, and also Sony is making that movie, so they're not gonna have any like stuff that looks a lot like Sony's. If I were to guess, and I think you would, from everything I've heard, I think it'll just be probably like you have different styles of different Zelda games, where like you pick a game like Ocarina of Time or something where you kind of stick it in there. That's my guess is what they would probably do, just because it already is the video game ness of that land, and I think they'll probably lean into that. But I don't know. I mean, the Sony making the movie has always kind of like I don't know how much they'll take from that, given that they don't have a vested interest in it.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So you know how in theme parks we always talk about how right now it's kind of like the IP land stuff, right? And my
Right.
worry with that is when you dedicate a bunch of land to one IP, I mean it's cool, right? We all want to kind of be in these big fantastical worlds of that IP. At the same
Right.
time, you're taking up a lot of space, right, for like one IP. So with this movie being, Mario Galaxy, would it be better to would it be better to have like a galactic area for Nintendo, have Super Mario Galaxy, have Metroid, F-Zero, and Star Fox all in this kind of galactic space themed area for Nintendo?
That's interesting. Well, I wouldn't mind them playing with ideas like that because I think you box yourself in if you try to always connect like I wouldn't mind them maybe putting another Mario area in another park. And maybe or a Nintendo area in another park. And that Nintendo area is like what you were saying, Ebba, where it's more space stuff. Like so it's like Nintendo Spaceland or whatever, right? And it's like you were saying, Metroid, Star Fox, Mario Galaxy. That would be pretty sick, dude. I hope Universal plays with concepts like that. Um, because I don't know, like putting this, like if you were to make an attraction
Mhm.
on this movie,
Yeah.
like is it overkill to put it in the Mario Land right now, or should you put it in like another park and kind of spread that out? Because they've done it with Wizarding World. Like all the Harry Potter stuff isn't in one park.
Yeah.
yeah, I personally think they'll probably just take that Wizarding World concept. I think it would be like you were saying, would they put another Mario area though? I think that would be the question of like Mario Galaxy area or different versions of the game. Would they do that, or would they just use different Nintendo properties?
Right.
That'll be because I do think you're going to see it going to other parks. I'm just very curious as
Yeah.
to what that'll be. But I do remember hearing the Zelda stuff. Originally, they were looking at Islands of Adventure, but the worry was that it wasn't enough of like a draw on its own to pull people over. So tucking it into Super Nintendo World kind of makes sense to do that. It becomes part of the greater offering of what that is. And you look at Zelda's all over that gift shop too. So, and
True.
they have 7 acres to play with. So I mean, that's a decent amount of space. You can do a Zelda area if you're
Yeah.
going to do it there.
My only hope is that while I know that Mario and Zelda are super like Nintendo's top hitting franchises, and I know, Jared, I know you just kind of mentioned that the other games kind of don't really hit the high numbers that these two IPs do. I would love to see these, Nintendo come back out with these other franchises, right? Because then you can do a cross synergy between in park stuff. If you come out with cool movies, like, dude, I talked to Seymour about this. I would love to see like either a Illumination style like this or a anime style version of like a Star Fox show or movie.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
I think that'd be sick.
I would be all for it. I just don't know where Nintendo's like how risk averse are they? Are they just going to stick to like I could see Nintendo being like, here's our top sellers. This is just what we're doing and not take because like if you did a Star Fox, like it's going to appeal to a lot of like guys our age and things, but I just don't know like younger kids don't know Star Fox.
Yeah,
And I think that would be the issue they would have there. But if it ends up being a successful show or a movie, that's a different conversation. But I feel like it would have to follow something like that before they would be, or like the game sells really well.
Yeah.
But I think going off of your safe bets is I get it if that's what they want to do. Because I think you would definitely need Zelda before you even started talking about Star Fox. Like once you get your
for sure.
big hitters there, then you can maybe start having those conversations about like, do we take a chance on a multi-themed land? Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't like. I could just see from a theme park and like business standpoint, like why you would do those things. At least,
Right.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. When it comes to Iowa, because I know it's basically things, based on a book, right? Let's just say they scrap that whole general idea, which honestly, I mean, the normies probably don't even realize that's what it is anyway. But you could do like Nintendo Island and do all kinds of crazy stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
you could do Mario Galaxy, you can do Metroid. You can do, I mean, technically you can even put Pokemon in there if you wanted to. I mean, you could do a whole kinds of stuff. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm interested to kind of play in that idea, in that sandbox of like having.
Oh, I would love it.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yoshi's Island. Can you imagine that, dude?
Yoshi's Island would be good.
sick.
Yeah. Yoshi's Island would work. There's a ton of stuff they can do, but I think you're looking at the next ones being Zelda. Then you're looking at Pokemon, and then after that, that's where I'm kind of curious. Is like, do they take it into like the studio side, or they just where do they put these things? But there's a lot of potential they can do, undoubtedly.
I mean, in general, I mean, I think Nintendo is like just the gift that keeps on giving. It's going to be. I mean, there's so much that Universal can pull from this and add to their parks. It's insane. I mean, the Yoshi Island stuff, I never even considered that, Natasha. That's brilliant for the kid. Actually, Yoshi's Island would be actually a cool little land for the kid park in Texas.
Yeah.
That if they did something with that, I think if they did a Nintendo area in there, that would make a lot of sense.
Well, Jared, I mean, it's so cool because like with Universal, right? They're on the up and up. Nintendo is, and when I say they're on the up and up, I mean they're spreading their wings, right? They're going out doing movies, collaborating with theme parks, right? There is so much potential and excitement.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. Nintendo, like I'm excited to see what this looks like in 10 years, 15 years.
Oh, 100%.